You have the booth tips. Then you have your budget sheet. On your budget sheet, you will see your annual salary. That's your gross pay. Remember, what you're dealing with today is your net pay, or what we call your take-home pay. That's the amount of money that you have to spend today. Now, you also have a credit score. I hope it's good. I don't know. Everyone's different. You have a credit card limit. I believe everyone's credit card limit, it should be $3,000. That means you can charge up to that, but you have to make a payment. And you have a savings account with some money in there. You'll need to use some of that money today for some of the things that you have to buy. Now listen carefully to this. Behind your budget sheet is a yellow sheet with a website on it. You need that later on to do some questions that you're going to do electronically, okay? Now, once you've gone through those first two booths or tables, whatever you want to call them, that are on the outside of your folder, then you can go to any other booth in any order that you wish. Now, some booths have to go in a certain order because of what they are. For example, you can't go to furniture until you've chosen your housing, because you won't know what kind of furniture or how much furniture you need. All right? But you do the first two that are on the folder, then you can go in any order. Now, you have to visit credit counseling twice. Go somewhere in the middle, have them check and see if you're on track. And the very last place you're going to go, there's two sort of last. Your last transaction is going to be, you have to make a credit card payment. So you will have to go to credit and lending, you're going to look at how much money you charge on your credit card, and you have to make a payment of 10% of that amount. They'll help you at that booth. When you've done all of that, you're going to go to credit counseling. A couple of things are going to happen there. They're going to tell you if you balanced your budget. You're going to leave that budget sheet with them. You will get it back next week, but you're going to leave it with them. They will give you a raffle ticket. You write your name on it. I have over 60 prizes today, so I want everybody to have a good chance. And then you're going to drop, guys, you're going to drop your clipboard off. The clipboards, you can't keep. You can't keep the calculator, okay? So your final transaction will be your credit card payment. The final booth will be credit counseling.
This, yeah, I think we're all out there. I already have to need life party. I have less than that. Health
Yo, let me do my thing.
Anybody need a T-Pass? T-Pass, anybody?
So it's up to you. Some people like to donate money because they don't have the time, and other people want to save money and
So now you have to work on the amount that you have left. Okay? So now you have to do like your housing and clothing. How are you? What is your take it to the dry cleaners and spend $35, or do you want to stay at home and wash? No, I can wash it. Okay, so that's going to cost you $20. So what is it going to cost? Might as well.
No, I haven't done that yet. We're paying $5 each. If we can pay that off, you guys. Cap needs surgery. Some more spinal.
That's our second booth.
So I'm gonna have to say that my favorite table is actually a combination of a couple tables. Definitely the transportation table and the table where you talk about lending and also insurance, because you have to look at the price of what it costs to get a car, and you normally don't think that having a car is expensive because you think you can just buy a car and then take it out on the road and be all right, but you have to take out a loan, pay for insurance, and you realize it's just an expensive process. And that kind of ties into how important this fair is, because you learn about how expensive things are in life, and you just don't really think about that initially, but you get to learn a thing or two about financing.
And my favorite table was the housing table, because originally I was going to do an inexpensive housing option. The lowest housing option was $400, but then I paired up with 3 other kids and we became roommates and we bought the most expensive housing option, and the price came out to be $550 a month, which is only $150 more than the least expensive housing option. And it was really cool to understand that you can get more for only a little more money if you just pair up and cooperate with other people.
I definitely would recommend that you do it in the future, because there's a lot of life lessons to be learned about how much things in life cost, and it's easy to just look at a certain thing in life like a cell phone bill in isolation, say like, oh, that's not that much money a month. When you have to look at everything you have to pay for in life, like things really do add up and it's expensive, so you have to be smart the way you spend your money.
And a lot of kids come out of high school with no knowledge of what to do afterwards, and this fair is the perfect segue or introduction to what happens after high school, and it teaches kids a lot about financial literacy and what to do later.
I'm here with Miss Trainer. What was involved in the preparation for today's events?
Well, we had to prepare occupational information for all the students. We had to develop a list of occupations and salary data. Then we met with the students, they chose their occupation, and the business students prepared the budget sheets. In the meantime, we met with a lot of community members to organize the volunteers, and then we developed the scenarios of what people had to buy and how much things cost, and then worked with all of our volunteers to train them and train our students, and here we are.
Great, it's a great event. Do you think that you would like to continue doing this for future years to come?
Yes, our plan is that in the future years it will be open to juniors every year. We didn't want our seniors to miss out this year, so it was optional for them. So we will be doing this every year for the junior class. It'll become an annual event.
All right, great, thank you. Mr. Belson, what are your thoughts on today's events?
I think it's a great opportunity for our young people to learn about financial literacy. Everybody needs to manage their money. You work hard and you want things, but you got to know how to roll it out so that you don't go broke, and you can afford the things you want, and you can invest, and you can learn how to make your money work for you. So this is a great opportunity to get a reality check. You'll learn a lot in school, but sometimes you don't learn enough about how to manage your life and how to manage your finances. And this is an important part of learning.
I'm here with school committee members Mr. Russo and Ms. Vanderkloot. What are your thoughts on today's activities?
Oh, I think it's such a great day. It's so much fun going around and seeing the students fill out their forms, figuring out what their expenses need to be. And I've had a couple chances to talk to a couple, and we've laughed over some. And I think the kids, this is one of those things. It's hands-on. It gets kids up out of their seats, learning about stuff and real life stuff things they really need to know.
I was impressed with the fidelity of some of a lot of the numbers that I'm seeing listed. They seem to be very accurate, which is nice to see. I think when things are printed in textbooks, they immediately are outdated. And of course, it's a little disheartening, some of those numbers. I'm sure a lot of the students are quite surprised. But I think it's really good to be surprised now rather than later on. So I'm really amazed at how well organized this event is too.
Hi, I'm here with Mr. Milne and Miss Caldwell, Assistant Superintendent. What are your thoughts about today's event?
Ms. Caldwell?
I think that this is something that all students need to know about. Jobs, credit, housing is the base of moving forward, so I think this is an awesome fair.
I think this is absolutely excellent. A lot of families don't talk about money, and it's not that money equals happiness, but when you don't have money and you're constantly in crisis because of lack of money, that's unhappiness. And it can be avoided if you sort of plan accordingly and you make good decisions. And I think this helps kids begin to make good decisions. So this is excellent.
So what did it take to put something like this together?
I know that Dr. Riccadelli, Miss Evangelista, Miss Trainer, and a vocational teacher spent months putting this fair together. It's a lot of organization, bringing in people who represent the different businesses to help the students. But in the end, the students will win out because they're going to have a strong base to move forward next year.
This is amazing. Just looking around, I think this is such a great thing. Teach kids real life experience. I've had so many students come up to me and say, hey, I make really good money, but after I pay my rent and pay all my other stuff, I really don't make a lot of money. So this is one of the better events I think we've had here. It's really, I want to go around and check out some of the booths.
Yeah. I'm here with guidance counselors Miss Glasser and Mr. Nascimento. As guidance counselors here at the high school, what was your role in today's events?
We didn't have a ton to do with the setup of the whole event. First, we're going to have a shout out to Miss Trainer and everyone that put this thing together. It's an awesome event for the school, for the kids, and we're real excited to be a part of it. And this morning, we're just kind of floating around, checking in with students and just helping them in any way that we can. Giving them advice on certain decisions, making sure that they're going to the right booths and making sure they have their sheets all filled out in the right way.
And I feel like I've just been kind of sharing my story. Some of them are surprised when they get the salary for a teacher or a guidance counselor, and I let them know that I've had part-time jobs my whole life and that I've had roommates, and if you have a job and you love what you're doing, that you have to make sacrifices. So we're just kind of helping them see the reality of everything.
I think it's a wonderful event, this Credit for Life Fair. It's a great opportunity for students to have a really authentic learning experience on a topic that, in my opinion, we don't do enough of, which is financial literacy and real life authentic type of learning. So it's really something I hope people are really look like they're taking seriously, getting into it, because it really is a tremendous opportunity to find out what it's going to be like in the real world when they have to manage their own finances. And we want to make sure people get off to a solid start, after college too as well. And too often people put themselves in tough financial situations if they don't know enough about this very topic here. So it's a great event for a lot of those different factors.
Yeah. What did it take to bring this event together?
It took a community to bring it together, as well as a lot of hardworking people. I give Miss Trainer a lot of credit, Miss Evangelista. It is also a great credit to our community that a lot of community people stepped up, local business leaders, in order to give their time and resources to help our students understand financial aspects of what it's like to manage a financial situation.
And I'm here with Mamie and Caitlin. So what was your favorite table?
I really like the charity table because it looked like realistic things that you can do in charity that's like its extension from high school.
Nice. And Caitlin?
I like the part-time table because
Why?
you get to choose the dice and it chooses your job. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. And what have you learned so far?
I've learned that it's a lot of money to be an adult.
Yeah. Caitlin?
I learned that I'm only going to make $7.50 an hour, so at TJ Maxx. So.
Thank you.
I'm a pediatrician and my salary is $9,297.
That's nice.
I'm a physician and my take-home pay is $9,397, and annually I make $175,000.
How do you guys budget and what do you spend your money on?
Well, we are roommates and stuff, so we only pay $700 per month, and we both have a car, so
that's
good. We just split everything up and make sure we get.
Yeah, you guys save money by splitting it up.
Yeah.
As Public Relations Director, what was your role in today's event?
Well, first, Miss Trainer and I went to Hopedale High School out by Milford, and they are way smaller than us. So their teachers and parents could man all the informational booths here. Obviously, that wasn't going to work here. So I had to reach out to the business community, and almost every single booth, although there are parents here from the PTO, majority of people are from the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, banks. Our major sponsor is Members Plus Credit Union. And there's a whole poster, which you guys should get, of everyone that is either physically here or who made a donation of some sort, whether it's a raffle prize or a freebie that the students received today.
I'm here with Jake, Ryan, and Nick. What table did you guys learn the most from so far?
Probably the nutrition table. I didn't think groceries would be that much when I first started, but it turns out food's a lot of money, like $350 a month. So.
Yeah, I definitely didn't plan to have that chunk of money taken from my my checking each month. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out.
I also found luxury kind of interesting just because you had to buy a haircut for $15. So I felt that was pretty, I don't know.
So how do you think this will work out, and what do you think the benefits will be?
Well, I think it'll work out pretty well. A lot of the costs are split now that we're rooming together, like the rent, and we also split some of the utilities and luxuries as well. Like I decided to buy the internet.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't want to sit alone in our apartment and do nothing. So we had to get some type of entertainment. I bought the Netflix, so hopefully it provides lots of entertainment for us on those late nights coming home from work.
Yeah, and I also bought cable, so we're also gonna have cable.
Sounds like it's gonna be a pretty fun room. Okay, thank you guys.
So I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I make $175,000 a year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's about like almost $10,000 a month. Yeah.
What about you?
I'm an occupational therapist.
Nice.
I make around, $4,000 a month, so it's a good amount.
All right, so how do you plan on budgeting your money?
So one of the things that I did was I made sure that I had a lot of roommates, because even though that I'm making a lot of money, I definitely want to spend it wisely.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I might just go to luxury and buy a boat or something. I don't know.
And you? Like Valeria said, budgeting your money wisely and making sure, you're getting the things you need before the things that you want.
Yeah.
So I feel like, it's a very good way to
That's a good
learn
motto.
real life experience.
Yeah.
Thank you. What is your job?
Criminal justice, so like policewoman.
You too?
Same thing. Yeah.
So what is your salary?
$42,000 a year.
How do you budget for shopping and other expenses?
Well, we go out like once a week to the grocery store and get stuff, and then for dinner we'll get like small things like in our like police cafe or something.
I'm here with Julia and Molly. What occupation are you guys, and how much money do you make annually?
I am a medical assistant, and yearly I make $35,000.
I'm a event planner, and I make $54,000 a year.
So how do you guys plan on budgeting your money?
I'm just not gonna waste it on like stupid things, and make sure I get like cheaper versions of whatever I'm getting.
I'm going to not buy things that are unnecessary and keep trying to get part-time jobs to make more money.
I'm here with Zach. What was your favorite table today?
Today my favorite table was definitely the housing, only because the people working over there did explain everything in detail and how much you would have remaining and all utilities and stuff.
What occupation did you choose?
I'm an international business person, only because this gives me the opportunity to travel and do a lot.
How much money do you make, and how do you plan on budgeting?
So I make $63,000 a year, which I would say is pretty low compared to other jobs. I plan on getting the things I like, paying a lot for those, but things I don't like, paying less, and hopefully it works out.
Thank you.
I'm a physical therapist.
I'm a nurse.
I'm a nurse.
What is your salary?
$54,000.
$54,000.
How do you budget your money with all the expenses?
We try and split a lot of the costs.
So we're all roommates, so we basically split everything.
Split a car. Split a car. Yeah.
So is it hard to split and not have your own things?
Yes and no, because say like I work the night shifts, so when I need to, like, I'm home, so I'll drop them off at work, so I have the car in the morning, and then when they come home, they'll have the car and drop me off at work. So like we kind of have a schedule.
You can't really get mad at it because once you look at like the money, you're like, yeah, we should definitely split everything.
Yeah.
Salary.
I'm a high school teacher, and my salary take home is $2,829. My annual is $47,000.
Nice.
I'm a neurologist. My take home per month is $9,397. My annual salary is $175,000.
I'm a biomedical engineer. My monthly take home is $3,767 and the annual is $63K.
I'm an IT specialist and I take home $63,000 a year.
Since Shelby makes more than all three of you combined, how do you budget your money compared to Shelby?
I only buy what I really need and what I don't want. I just doesn't need it. Like for charity, sorry. I'm the charity case here.
I think we just have to be a little bit more conservative of how we're gonna spend our money, because she triples my what I make a month. So I just have to like cut back on some things that I really wouldn't need.
Yeah, we definitely have to be more careful about what we spend. Like, she could probably buy a car. We kind of have to take the MBTA or something like that. So we just have to be more careful about like all this stuff.
Yeah. And how do you spend your money?
Even though I make bank, I'm still going with all the cheapest options.
I'm a massage therapist, and my salary is $54K a month.
Nice.
I'm a business executive, and I make $105,000.
I'm a filmmaker and I also make $105,000.
How do you guys budget your money?
I'm really trying to, pay for things that don't cost as much so I can save up for my future.
Nice.
I lean more towards necessities and pay out my debts as soon as I can.
I've been trying to pay for things in cash and leave like the credit card alone because credit's bad.
I'm here with Ms. Fitzpatrick. As a guidance counselor, what is your role in today's events and how do you think the students benefit?
So the guidance team is here to help support the students, help them figure out their way around, and try to kind of navigate some of the different options that are available to them in today's event. I think the guidance team is really happy to be here because we get to help the students see a preview of what it's like when you go out into the real world once you get that first job and how to manage all of these things that life throws at you.
What is your job and what is your salary? I'm a nurse practitioner and I make $63,000 a year.
I'm an exercise scientist and I make $45,000 a year.
I'm a lawyer and I make $105,000 a year.
How do you guys budget your money? Well, we've been going to the most expensive things pretty much first. Like the things that you have to have, and then we're going to the other things after. So like more luxury items we're going to later in the process.
Yeah, same as that.
Yeah, making sure I get insurance and necessary things like housing, and then I'll go to luxury after.
Nice, thank you. So what is your job and what is your salary? So I'm a high school teacher and I make $47,000 a year. Nice.
I'm a computer programmer and I make $76,000 a year.
How do you guys budget your money? It's been a little bit tough because I really don't make too much money, but that's okay. It's a great job, I love it, but it's going good, It's hard, it's difficult, but it's good, yeah.
I feel like my money's easy to balance because it's like just the perfect amount, so I'm just like kind of going with the cheap things and going from there.
What is your job and what is your salary?
I'm a pediatrician and I make $9,397 per month.
Nice. I'm a lawyer and I make about like $5,000 a month. Nice.
I'm a surgeon and I make about $9,300 per month.
Like a pretty decent amount of money. Like, do you store some of it away or do you spend it all right away?
Like we save some, and then for the defenses we split it and we divide it by 3, so it's 3 of us.
We split it equally. So, yeah.
We usually split it and then divide by 3.
Nice, thank you.
So far I like housing just because we all need a place to stay and it was relatively a good price, so it was nice.
I say housing because these guys are my roommates, so it's a little easier than being alone.
I'd say health and nutrition
because it really is helping me decide like what I can do with my money for food, because that's very important because you do need food.
For housing, we each pay $600 for rent. And I think for food, it's just like buy what you want.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What job are you and how much do you make?
We're both psychiatrists, and we make $82,000 a year.
And what booth so far that you visited has you felt you gained something from it?
Probably housing, and yeah, clothing is the most. Definitely charity and community. Like, we got a reimbursement back on our credit.
I'm here with Anna and Caitlin. So ladies, what booth here at the Credit for Life Fair have you gained the most knowledge from?
For me, I think it was the credit and lending booth because I was able to find out more about student loans and paying them off.
For me, it was the luxury because it kind of taught me what you should put on like your credit card, what you should put on your savings, and then that your checking account is monthly, but then your savings account is what you should use instead of the credit card because then there won't be interest on it.
I'm here with Kelly Catallo from Housing. What do you see that most of the students are doing as far as housing goes and trying to keep their costs low?
Most of the students are being very smart with their money. So we have a lot of kids here that are choosing the 4-bedroom because it would only cost them $550 a month. And they understand that, sometimes sharing expenses is going to net them in the end. And then, fair warning to all the moms and dads out there, a lot of them are choosing to spend the $400 a month and stay home.
So what tips do you have for any other students coming over, and what would you tell them as far as what decision they're trying to make?
I think that, some of the kids are saying, oh, I want a pet. Well, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have a pet today. Worry about that in the future because that's going to cut down, your options in housing. Even if you can afford that 3-bedroom and there's only 2 of you, let's just take the 2-bedroom because you save that money for tomorrow so that maybe you can own the home.
I'm here with Jenna and Carmen. What table did you guys learn the most from so far?
Today I learned the most from transportation.
It helped us out because, we learned that we had to put a down payment first before we actually bought the car. And there was a lot of different options that we could have.
And you had to pay for gas and repair.
Yeah, and there was a lot of different options that we could choose from, so that was cool.
Hi, I'm here with Lana Battles of Members Plus Credit Union. Why did you choose to be the major sponsor of this event?
We thought that it would be a great opportunity to get involved with the community, and we really wanted the chance to work with high school students, and this seemed like the perfect experience. We enjoy all the people we've been working with, and we're hoping to work with the high school more in the future.
I'm here with Judy Lonergan of Lonergan Insurance. So what's the difference between basic insurance and extended coverage?
The difference between basic insurance and extended coverage is that basic insurance covers your furniture and your jewelry and a camera and a computer and all that, not your cell phone. Extended coverage covers you for $9 more a month, that if someone comes into your property, your apartment or your home, and they fall down and they hurt themselves, this will cover that. Basic insurance does not cover that. So for the difference of $9 a week, $9 a month, it's well worth the money for the coverage and your protection.
I'm a dentist and I make $150,000.
I'm a lawyer and I make $105,000. How do you budget your money?
I just go for the things that I really need, like dental insurance, health insurance, car insurance, utilities like internet, heat.
Yeah, I did basically the same thing. So I'm here with Dr. Riccadelli, Director of Curriculum. So what is your role in today's event?
So with regard to today's event, I was part of the planning team. There were 4 of us, and my specific role was reaching out to the State Treasurer's Office and applying for the grant. So it's a $5,000 seed grant, and the intent of the grant is to grow the program in future years. So this is our first year. We plan to hold this next year and beyond, and so that was my primary role. I will be submitting paperwork to the state, doing an evaluation of the program. I've also been part of the overall structure, reaching out to community partners, working with the setup of food here on campus. But definitely part of a team. We all contributed to this.
Thank you.
I'm a police officer, and I am paid $45,000 a year.
Nice. I'm a nurse, and I get paid $54,000 a year.
Mine was luxury because you learn that you can't have all the nice things you thought you could have because they're just too expensive, so you have to make some sacrifices.
My favorite one was insurance because we need it to help us out, and if we get into accidents, we don't want to be liable, and I thought that was important to get.
I'm here with Miss Donlin, and what are your thoughts about today's event?
I think this is tremendous. I think this is the most wonderful learning experience for everybody. I wish something like this was available when I was in school. I can imagine all of the struggles that you have, right, would be made so much easier by just having a little bit of experience of sort of walking through that same problem, and I think it's just absolutely fabulous.
All right, I am a marketing manager, and my annual salary is $63,000.
I am a lawyer, and my annual salary is $105,000.
I am a chemical engineer, and my salary is $63,000.
Well, I think the table that was most important was the housing, because it's like where you have to live and everything. And for us, we got a 3-bedroom since we're rooming together.
Nice. Definitely clothing. I never realized how expensive it is depending on your profession, so that one was interesting.
The table that surprised me the most was the furniture one, because you had to make 4 payments for furniture, which was a lot of money in the end.
Yeah.
That growing up has a lot of disadvantages.
Yeah.
Like paying off everything.
Yeah. How fast your money just disappears from your saving account, that was a really hard one.
Yeah, like you try to balance it, but then things just keep adding up, so it's kind of hard to tell like what to do.
Yeah.
I'm here with Scott and Trisha from Health and Dental. What were some of the concerns coming from the students today?
Probably the number one concern is, do they really need dental insurance? I usually recommend it because teeth are expensive and it's a lower cost. Another concern was, should they go for the higher insurance or the lower insurance?
What tips did you kind of give them to help them navigate their way with the budget that they have?
Well, on the insurance, a lot of them are young and healthy, so I usually say go with the lower one unless you can't plan it, but if you tend to go to the doctors more or you're more comfortable, you may want to choose the higher plan where there's more coverage.
I'm here with Michael. What were some of the students' main concerns about choosing their health and dental insurance?
We wanted to make sure they had the good coverage, obviously. We had 3 different options, and one of the things they do need is they obviously need health insurance. So we went over the options which best suit them and the way it works for them. Plan number 1 was obviously the most, everyone chose that one, so to say. So. And we also had the dental as well, optional, but we said you had to have your home, your room, board, everything paid for, get your insurance, and then if you could afford the dental, by all means do so.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My job is a physician's assistant, and I make $82,000 a year. Nice.
I'm in sports management, and I make $47,000 a year.
I'm a physical therapist, and I make $54,000 a year.
I'm also a physical therapist, and I make $54,000 a year.
Nice.
My favorite table was the insurance table.
Mine would probably be credit counseling because they make sure everything's going all right with how much money you're spending.
I like the retirement and savings table because you learn about your future.
My favorite was the housing table.
Hi, I'm here with Kristen Coolin. What did the students do under your advisory?
Well, we have the business technology program, so all those custom forms in that folder were done by my students, and they created all the packets, and they helped organize the event. They passed out folders this morning, so they've been working on this for the past 2 weeks straight, and are very relieved that it's done, but they're very proud, and I'm very proud of the work they did. They did a fantastic job.
Hi, I'm Mr. Donlin, social studies teacher and track coach and part-time media microphone holder, and I'm here with
Zoe,
Willa,
Arden. Okay, welcome guys. What do you think about today?
Oh man, so cool. I wish I was doing it.
I missed the sign up, and now I'm really regretting it. Looks like everyone's having a great time.
On the same boat as everyone that has missed the sign up.
Awesome, and I have to go to class. I'm late.
I'm here with Mr. Skorker. What do you think of today's event and how do you think it will benefit the students?
I think today's event is spectacular. I think a lot of work went into today, and I'd like to personally thank Ms. Trainer for single-handedly running a lot of this, and the faculty that came out, as well as the community organizers that came out, as well as the students. I think this was well attended and it was extremely well organized, and I'm really happy to be here. Of course, and about how this will help. Students are going to have to make a lot of decisions after they graduate from high school, and I think this event will really help them make smarter decisions as they go on into their adult life. So I'm really excited, and I think that this was a major success.
Hi, I'm here with Michael from Reality Check. Can you please explain a little bit about how the process works?
Sure. So students have been coming over here and they spin the wheel to see what life has in store for them this month. So if you want, you can take a spin and we'll see what's been happening. So 3 would be Grandma's birthday, and you send a check for $50 over to Grandma.
All right. So what has been a common concern about some of the things that have been happening to the students during Reality Check?
Well, it's random, so some of it has hit them by surprise, but the worst thing that's on the sheet is a $200 expense for a cat. Cat needed surgery, so cats are not popular here today at a Reality Check.
I'm here with Rosemary and Joan from Part-Time Jobs. What are some of the part-time jobs you guys have available for the students to partake in?
So what they have to do, they have to roll the dice, and whatever number they get is the job. So we have jobs as a waitress or waiter, there's Lowe's, Target, TJ Maxx, and Holiday Inn. Those are the jobs that they could choose from.
What jobs have the students been most excited about or maybe not so excited about?
So I think the job that they're most excited about is wait staff because they get paid $20 per hour after taxes. And the one that they're disappointed with is Lowe's because it's only $7 an hour. So they were hoping to make more with that job. So when they got that, they were a little disappointed.
I'm here with City Councilor Rick Carviello. What were your thoughts about today's event?
I think today's a great event. It's good to see the students getting some real life experience. So as they move on in life, they understand what it takes to make money, spend money, where your money goes. A lot of people, they go out into the real world and they get a job and they just spend money and they don't know where it's going on. And I think this is nice. There's transportation, there's utility, there's furniture, there's buying cars and clothing. Everybody gets to know what real life is about, which sometimes people go out there in the real world and they haven't figured it out. And I think this was a nice forum, and I hope it's something that it continues in next year.
Thank you. Can you explain this table to me?
Hi, so we're the credit and lending table, so we give students student loans and also the automobile loans. So students come by, they roll the dice, they find out what their loan payments are going to be. And then automobile loans is when they decide if they're going to get a car loan or a bus, and then they figure out what their expenses are going to be, if a bus is more affordable or if they can afford a car loan. So we kind of help them figure that out.
What were some common questions or concerns that students had?
So once they came to us and they did their student loan payment, they realized that they may not be able to afford the car that they wanted, so they had to kind of maybe go back to transportation, maybe rework out and getting a bus pass or getting a bicycle. So that was kind of one of the biggest questions or problems that they had when they came to us. But we were able to guide them through it, and they were able to readjust their payments.
This is DP here at the Mustang Report at the 2018 Credit for Life Fair, and I'm here with school committee member Kathy Kretz. So how do you think this helps our community in Medford?
I think this is a great fair. I heard students talking about, I need to save money to take care of my pet. I need money for a car. I'm running out of money. I don't have enough money for food. How am I going to get money to eat? It's just been incredible. The students are learning so much about how the importance of money and expenses and how they need to be able to afford things in life, and they can't just run out and get whatever they want. It's just a great, great program, and everybody who volunteered just did a phenomenal job, making this a wonderful experience for all the students. Thank you very much.
And do you think this year's first Credit for Life went successful?
I think it was a dynamite, successful experience for all the students. It was great.
And I'm here with Senator Jalen. So how do you think this Credit for Life Fair impacts our community?
I think it's fabulous. I have known so many kids who said, I wish I had known, because they end up with so much debt. They don't know how to manage their credit cards. They don't know what they're doing. They make bad plans. So I think it's fabulous. I want every high school to have it, and I want it to expand into more of the curriculum so it's not just one day. But this was so well done. And I think every department in the high school that participated deserves so much credit. All the volunteers from all the agencies. It's wonderful.
And how do you think going forward we could even improve this Credit for Life Fair to make it even better?
I do think it needs to expand into the rest of the curriculum, that you could follow this up and follow different tracks that kids had questions about. Somebody told me that people were going back and returning their cars because they couldn't afford them. So it's better to do that at high school in a Credit for Life fair than in real life.
And do you think this was very beneficial for the students here at MHS?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think people really got a good reality check, and they can plan for after they get out of high school.
Okay, well thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
Thank you.
I'm here with State Representative Paul Donato. So Paul, how do you think this year's 2018 Credit for Life Fair went?
This is a great opportunity. It went fantastic. The kids are all excited. Everybody's excited, including those who have participated. And we've got the entire community out here participating in this Credit for Life. The kids are learning a lot about how to get and navigate through the trials and tribulations as they get older and start to matriculate into secondary education and to colleges, and they're gonna have a great foundation based upon what's happening here today. And the community has been 100% behind it, along with the teachers and the students. Everybody's just having a great time and learning a great deal, and we're happy that it's done.
Hey, what do you think is important about today's event?
I think the important part is basically and simply that the young students here are learning a lot about each and every aspect of how they have to go through life, whether or not they're going to buy a car, buy a house, get some credit, go to college. All of these things are going to cost money, and this is giving them the opportunity to figure out how, when, where, why, and where to get the money and get a job.
Well, thank you for taking time to do this interview with us.
Thank you. It's an exciting day, and I'm glad that you guys are having a good time about it.
Thank you. This is DP here at the 2018 Credit for Life Fair with Mayor Muchini Burke. So, Mayor Burke, how do you think that this event here, held for the first time, impacted our community?
Well, it's a wonderful way of adding awareness to how important it is to save. Well, obviously, I'm mayor, but I'm a CPA, certified public accountant. So I kind of grew up in this industry of trying to save and advise people on how to do it and budget and purposes, how to really plan for your future. And it's really important to start young, because a little bit put away today adds up to a lot as it capitalizes over the years and years with interest rates. So I think it's a wise thing. It's a great program, and I'm so glad that the treasurer has offered us the funds to do this.
And what would be your advice to anyone about to graduate high school and going off to college?
Well, apply, and be willing sometimes to go out of state, because sometimes you can get much more better financial packages going out of our state than staying in. But don't hold yourself back. Shoot for the moon. And just because you think maybe your family couldn't afford a certain college doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. So try to think big and think broad and really go for it. But all the while, try to save some money, take those co-op jobs, and try to put a little bit of money away for your future.
And how do you think Medford High's first annual Credit for Life Fair went?
I think it's great. Look at the awareness. Look at the people here that are supporting you. We have so many banks in our community, and they offer a lot of co-ops and internships as well. So really take the time to chat with them, because you never know where your industry, where you may select, regardless of what you go to college for. You may end up in this industry. So there's a lot going on in Medford and beyond, and we're just happy to have the support from the community.
Well, thank you for taking this time to do the interview with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, how do you think that this fair today impacts our community?
Well, clearly, now that I've just sat with a bunch of the kids and heard what the takeaway was for everybody, every single kid I've talked to has told me that they definitely learned something that they can take into their lives that will help them from getting in financial trouble. And that is exactly what we want to do.
And what would be your advice to high school students about to graduate?
For students that are about to graduate, number one, I hope you were here today. And if you weren't, then what you should do is talk to your friends that were, because what they learned is, first, your salary is not the money you get. So your first paycheck could be a shock, because by the time you get it, you may have already bought a car, you may have already rented an apartment, and you may have even gone to the shelter and adopted a pet who then needs an expensive surgery that wasn't planned. So the most important thing to know is to think about what you really are going to make, whether you can afford to do the things that you do, and then think about stuff that you never thought would happen to you that could happen.
And overall, do you think Medford High's first annual Credit for Life Fair was successful today?
It was absolutely successful. I spoke to a couple of people who said initially they were just excited that they weren't going to have class. So it didn't matter what it was, they just didn't have to go to class. And then they actually learned something because it's a fun way to learn.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this interview with the Mustang Report.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Woo!
You were terrific today. Thank you so much. Today you participated in an event that is going to be more meaningful to you than almost anything else you do. How to manage your money, how to be ready for life, and how to take care of yourself and your family going forward. You can do it, and today was a good beginning for you, and I know you're all going to benefit from Credit for Life. A lot of people in our community have contributed to making this day a success, and I want to take a few moments to thank them because they really stepped up, because they care about you. And it is all members of our community who gave up their time, their resources to help you deal with finances and financial literacy. So I'm going to read some sponsors for you so you know who actually helped today. Bates Insurance and Voya Financial, Bay State Financial, Brookline Bank, Cummings Foundation, Century 21, Vance Realty, Century Bank and Trust, Citizens Bank, Comcast, Cosmopolitan Real Estate Incorporated, East Boston Savings Bank, East Cambridge Savings Bank, Lonergan Insurance, the MBTA, Medford Chamber of Commerce, the Medford Employees Federal Credit Union, Medford Boys and Girls Club, the Medford High School and Medford Vocational Technical High School BTO, Middlesex Federal Savings Bank, Medford Public Schools Directors and Coordinators, Medford Vocational Technical High School Graphic Arts Program, Medford Vocational Technical High School Marketing Program, National Grid, Patriot Bank, Hoffman & Sons Insurance, Remax Real Estate, RJ Beverage LLC, and Wegmans. Let's give a round of applause. I want to thank some of the school administrators and staff that helped to make today successful as well. Our Director of Curriculum, Bernadette Rigadelli, Assistant Principal Gail Trainer, Medford High School Marketing Teacher, Kristen Kuhn, Public Information Officer Lisa Evangelista, Assistant Superintendent Diane Caldwell, Director of Mathematics Carolyn Joy, Director of Foreign Languages Rita DiCarlo, Director of ELL Paula Texera, Director of Personnel and Budget Kirstine Patterson, and Joan Bowen, Special Education Coordinator. Let's give them a round of applause. Associate Director of the Vocational High School, Jill Sawyer, Director of the Vocational High School, Chad Fallon, Headmaster John Barella, Athletic Director Bob Maloney, Supervisor of Health and Physical Education Rachel Perry, and Administrative Assistant Stephanie McGarrett. Let's give them a round of applause. Now today we have a number of people coming from state government who also joined you today. And their work at the State House and their work in the state helps to finance our public schools and make programs like this possible. So I want to thank our state senator, Assistant Majority Leader Patricia Jalen, the state representative and Assistant Majority Leader Paul Donato, our City Council President Rick Arviello, our school committee members Paul Advantage, Paul Russo, Kathy Kretz, all were here today to be involved and support you. So let's give them a round of applause. Now it's my distinct pleasure at this point in time to introduce to you an individual who chairs our school committee and does a lot of work to make these events possible in our community and so many of the other things that you enjoy as students here at Medford. It's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor of the City of Medford, Stephanie Muccini Burke.
Gives you an opportunity to take things away and take them for the rest of your life. Junior. Give it up for juniors. Who said that getting out of high school and having to deal with college loans, if you need to buy a car, if you need to get a roommate and rent an apartment, that this is scary. But today helps you understand the things that you need to do in order to cope with all of this. And that's what we want. I want you guys to have economic stability and economic opportunity in this state. I'm working on a lot of things to make that better, but this program has shown itself to be so effective, and with everyone here in this room, whether it's the superintendent, whether it's the secretary, whether it's the mayor or our elected officials, your teachers, the staff, everybody wants to make life better for you. So thank you for participating, and do me a favor, for those, there were a couple people today who said, boy, do I now understand what my parents have done for me. Go home and give them a hug. So I want to turn this back over to Roy, and thank you for having me.
So, I also should mention that the treasurer is also the chair of the Massachusetts School Building Authority, and it's through her offices that we have 17 brand new science labs that you all enjoy. So, anyway, this has been a terrific experience. I want to give an opportunity to the Undersecretary of Consumer Affairs and Housing of the Commonwealth to speak to you because he's got a lot of great experience and he's got a lot of commitment to making sure that you as young people move into the future with a lot going for you. So it's my pleasure to introduce John Chapman.
Well, good to see you all today. This is so much energy in this room, and I was going to tell the mayor as well as the treasurer, I didn't know this was a political rally. But this is great, because the seniors in this center are voting. And I know you're also closer to the door. Is that no! But it's great because what a great event this is. I, as Undersecretary and head of the Office of Consumer Affairs, I oversee the Division of Banks. And the Division of Banks has provided through all the banks and credit unions in the state funding for these types of events. It has been terrific to be a partner with the Treasurer's Office and getting these out across the state. These events are really transforming the way that people are teaching financial education. I just wanted to say a few words and thank all of you for participating. I know it was required, but it was something that is, I think you can take away. An important thing to know as you graduate and move on from high school is there are resources out there here in the state, in the Treasurer's Office, in my office, in and around your communities, where you can continue to get help and guidance about financial issues. So I think I only have two other things to say that I know will take down the house. One is, go Mustangs! And along with that, go Patriots!
There you go! So, another thank you to the people who work on the Treasury staff, Deputy Treasurer, and Tassel, Pam Toby, who was the coordinator of the event, and I know everybody else's name every year. So all of them, give them a round of applause. They worked out to make this possible. Now, I want to turn it back to the mayor for a presentation.
So on behalf of the senior class of Medford High School, we have a gift for our treasurer, okay?
88 years old. We have to sing happy birthday. He is the father of the state treasurer. He's 88 years old today. He's a top-notch guy. Let's sing happy birthday.